Cool. Let me just make sure it's going. Awesome. All right. Cool. So I can hear everybody and let's go. Yes. Hello, family.
Hello, hello.
Half of
Family,
my screen is
family,
blocked.
family. Your screen is
Half
well,
of
we
it.
could see. Oh, we could see you good though. Yeah. I could see everybody here. I guess he has to come back in. I don't know what happened there. But Anthony, so thank you for those who are coming in and those who are watching on YouTube and Facebook. We're doing a pre-Veterans Day family celebration today. And I have my cousin Anthony here. And my other cousin Junior is about to come on real quick. So we are just celebrating them today. If you guys missed the mini slideshow we had at the beginning, we will play it one more time for you guys at the end. And I just want to just share, some of my family with you guys and just celebrate those who were, those who are veterans, those who are still actively serving, and for them to also just share a little bit about themselves, to share a little bit of their story, and for just us to just celebrate the fact that they sacrificed their time, sacrificed their life to serve in the country. So this is Anthony, my cousin. Anthony, what's up?
Hello, everyone. Hello, cousin. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Good. So just share with everybody like what branch you were in and just kind of like what made you go into it, or your experiences starting off.
Okay, not a problem. My name is Anthony from Brooklyn, New York. Um, started in the military in 2001. Ironically, that was before 9/11. So it was April 2001. I was 17, coming out of college. I mean, coming out of high school, and
Hmm.
I had to figure out a way how to pay for college and and fight for the country. This was all before, it's pre 9/11.
Hmm.
Um, so that was how it started. Fun fact: when I went in the military, I never signed up to try to do infantry and scout. I wanted to do 92 Alpha, doing
Right.
works, basically what I'm doing right now. While I'm not in the military anymore.
Right.
But somehow I got, roped up and wrapped up into being infantry. So that was
Right.
my beginning with the military at Fort Hamilton, actually, in Brooklyn, New York, as well. So
Awesome. So, and going in new, like, what was your experience? What was your experience on that? Like, I know there's so much feelings going on, in going into it, especially, coming out of high school, and, when you look back, like at your decision and stuff, like what was like that for you?
now I'm thinking about it, it's crazy timing,
Uh-huh.
crazy training, just having fun. You know,
Right.
being around those being around a rough neighborhood like Brooklyn, New York, up there in Crown Heights, it basically was something I almost seen before. Just different, how can I say this? Mix of people there. Everybody
Right.
working to one common goal. Protecting the
Right.
nation. Just
Hmm.
I know getting in trouble for. I know I got in trouble a lot in the military, especially the beginning, because I guess I had a smart mouth.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Who knows, right? But
And going
you
in so young too and things like that.
right, right. So I would ask like certain questions, like, "Hey, why are we doing this? Don't you ask that question? Just do it." And
Right.
then I have to come back and say, "Well, if it don't get done properly, now what?" So that would just set them off right there. So
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm and like I know like the times have changed with with certain things, and like how things are done, hopefully we can get my other cousin Junior back on so that he can kind of share like the decade he was in, but the decade, that you were in and that you started out. Um what do you think were like some of maybe like your personal challenges in going through you know that whole process in thoughts of like serving your country? Were there times that you like wanted to give up? Were there times like that where you second guessed yourself and you're like, you know what, you know
yeah, many times. The first step is when I got off that. How can I say this? The charter bus in Atlanta, not Atlanta, Georgia, but in Columbus, Georgia, by Fort Benning.
mhm,
I remember they were screaming at people like, "Yeah, you're Fort Benning now, boy!" And I remember laughing.
mm,
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be here, so I'm gonna get back on the bus. You take me to the right.
mhm,
We're like, "Well, I don't know who told you that, but you signed up for infantry." I'm like, "No,
mhm,
I did it." Like, it doesn't matter. You're here now, so I'm like,
mm,
that fine print probably.
mhm,
You
right.
know, and I guess joining too. If I'd have had the knowledge I had now, I probably would have chose like a different branch. Because me,
Mm,
I honestly feel if you choose, and it's nothing against Army Marines. I think they were great branches as well, but I think Air Force and Navy
mhm,
really geared towards your how can I say this? Your professional life. Let's say if you want to do IT or something medical or what have you, it really sets you up perfect for that. For example, I know you're in the Air Force,
mm,
immediately you get like what a secret to top secret clearance immediately.
mm.
Still current
Okay.
for active duty uh,
Mhm.
soldiers and airmen and Marines. So
So would you say that it kind of shaped you to be a better person today through all the different um things that you went through and from joining to like now?
most certainly, all the adversities we had to overcome and working with people that you probably didn't get along with, but they would
Mm-hmm.
stick you in a certain group and say, here's this task, get it done. I don't care how you get it done, but you got to get it.
Right,
So you just overcome
right,
each other and the task just to get it done. So it was
ab-
fruitful.
right. There you go, Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, just turn it around so to the side. All right, good, awesome. So we have my cousin Junior on now, and Junior in a little bit is just gonna share um a little of what he did in his branch in his decade also. So once that kind of gets fixed and rolling, he's gonna share. But Anthony, what are you doing now? As a result of being, in the infantry, um, what kind of things are you working now, and especially like with veterans?
Right now I'm doing security at the Pentagon. Working on a nice little project. I probably can't say too
Awesome.
much about that, but
No, no, that's okay.
uh, DoD trying to better their infrastructure by allowing some. cloud capabilities within the
Right.
whole defense. So yeah, and
Right.
working with veterans. Um, I know I have a few veteran buddies, but uh, I guess have some wounded warrior things, but you have to be a wounded warrior. I have a couple of veterans affairs
Right.
information for those veterans who may not know or looking. This thing is, I know Uncle Junior could agree with this. The VA, the VA rating. The higher the rating, the better off you are. Like for example, if you're 100%, um, if you have 100% from the VA, if that's how they rate you. I know a lot
Mhm.
of veterans don't know this. I didn't know this. If you purchase
Mhm.
your first home, or even if no, yeah, if you purchase your first home in Maryland, and I know in a lot of other states too, but I gotta look more into that. You don't
Mhm.
have to pay property. It's things like that. That's not,
Mm.
but you have to dig to get that information.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
like, like my car, I don't need to get a how could I say this? I don't have to get a I don't have to be registered. So now I got permanent plates, which means I don't
Mhm.
have to go there to get, every 2 or 3 years to update that. So there's things
Right.
like House, you get the
Awesome.
Veterans United that would help you for veterans that you don't have to put, how could I say that? You
Mhm.
don't have to put down payment off your first home. So yeah, there's a website
Mm.
I'll send to you so you can send to everyone else. So yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. There are some links that I have that I'm going to put inside this chat box. You look a little blurry, Anthony. I just think it's probably just the Wi-Fi.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
You
but
see
there's
it?
some. It'll probably clear up soon. So yeah, so there's some links, some great links that my cousin Anthony gave me that I'm going to be sharing in the chat box for those of you who either know veterans or you have family members that that are veterans, friends. Very great resources that he's passed on to me that I'll share with you guys. So my cousin Junior,
Okay,
glad to
okay,
have you.
thanks. This I
Thanks
was
for
started
joining
with.
us.
I
Yeah,
had I had Elizabeth, and I wasn't
yeah,
working, and I was like,
yeah.
"Well, I got responsibility now. It ain't about me. So what I
Right,
need to
right,
do?" And I was in York
right.
College. I was in York College at the time. That was in the early '70s, and
Okay.
rather than studying, I was busy chasing girls and not, doing my schoolwork. So
Mm-hmm.
the counselor called me and said, "Yo, your average is like point something." Like what? But I knew it
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So I said, "You know what?
Yeah. Hold on.
I
Your
got
your hand is, I think, in front of the camera.
okay.
Okay, good,
I,
good. You good.
I said I got to do something else." So I said, "Well, I didn't want Daddy to know what was going on." So I said, "Let me join the military." 'Cause at that time, Eddie was in the military. So
Okay.
I went to a recruiter in Brooklyn, and he asked me what I want to do. I said, "Well, I don't believe in killing people, but I understand the necessity of defense. So put me someplace where I could take care of the injuries." They said, "Okay, the hospital."
Oh.
But I said, "That depends
Mm.
on how good you did on the HACCP test." So I took
Okay.
the test, did outstanding. He said, "You can do whatever you want to do based on the score."
Okay.
I said, "Okay, I work in
Right.
the hospital." And that's when I
Right.
became a medic, and I did like 20 years. Once I saw that 20, I'm like, I'm out of here. 'Cause I see too many
Mm-hmm.
people trying to be greedy and get more money and never make it. So I said, you know what?
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
start in the civilian world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once I got out, I went to get for a job interview. At the interview, they were like, "Oh, you could draw blood. Yeah, you could do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
where, where's your certification?"
Right.
So I immediately start laughing. I said, "Well, we just did it. Unfortunately, we don't have no certification. I think the Army does,
Right.
but the Air Force didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they do now, though." And the reason
Mm-hmm.
for that is a lot of people who get into good field, get certified, and then get out. So
Right.
it was a disadvantage for them to make them certified. Okay.
Oh, okay.
What
Okay.
once I got out and that happened, I said, well, you know what? I had two bachelor's degree, one in biology
We
and
can't
one in
see you,
life science.
Junior.
Oh, I have two
Yeah, you
bachelor's
good.
degrees, one in life science and one in biology. So at the
Okay.
time, I was at Andrews Air Force Base. So I
Oh.
applied for the University of Maryland and they have an accelerated program to become a nurse, which is 2 years. So I
Mm,
did that, became a nurse, work at the VA in Washington, D.C. for about a year and a half.
mhm.
Then at the time, me and Joyce wasn't married, but I moved to Texas with her and did a work in different family nurse practitioner job down there, like the pain center and stuff like that.
Right.
Then I got tired of that. I said, man, this too hard. I need to find something else. So while I was in Arizona, I applied for university in Arizona for family nurse practitioner. And I
Mhm.
applied late and they said, well, you have to do it next year. I said, that's fine. Just, leave me on the list. And
Right.
while I was in North Carolina, I never forget it. That's when Eddie's daughter was getting married at Chapel Hill. And I got a phone call that said, well, somebody dropped out, so you got a spot. I was like, okay, I'm good.
Mhm.
So I just went, did that. But it was weird because during that time I was sick with valley fever. What
Oh
that is,
wow.
it's like a fungal infection, and it's devastating. I mean, you just want to sleep all the time. I could get a
Wow.
job being a mattress tester because that's all I wanted to do was sleep, nothing else. But despite that, I persevered in school, and the instructors knew what I was going through, so they kind of helped me out too.
Mhm.
And once I graduate, I never forget it. 'Cause when I graduate, wasn't nobody there for me. So
Mm.
it was so sad. So my friend Art, he's in San Antonio now, working at a,
Right.
a male clinic. His family kind of adopt me, and I just like stay with him to the graduation.
Mhm.
And okay. So what happened now? During that time, I accrued a lot of money for student loan. And
Mm.
knowing me, I'm always conniving. So I said, you know what? I'm not paying all this stuff. That's too much
I
money.
like the honesty.
It was about $120,000. So I said, you
Oh
know what?
God.
I'm disabled. So why don't I just write a letter? So I write a letter to the educational department, explain my situation, send my disability, everything. All my friends said, man, you crazy. They ain't going to do that. So I said, all right, but it's worth a try. So I tried it. The letter
Right.
came back. The letter said approved. Even though I wanted
Wow.
it, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Now, the catch was in that letter, you can't work for like 3 years.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh man. So I said, well, to write off 120,000, I'm gonna do it. Plus, I was
Mhm.
sick anyway, and even when I was working, it was kind of hard. So I just took a sabbatical and just took it easy.
Mhm.
And that sabbatical is lasting until today due to COVID-19. They were like, why don't you go
Uh,
back? I said, oh no, no, I got diabetes, I got high blood pressure, I'm a high risk.
wow.
I don't need money that bad. I need to stay alive.
Right.
So
Right.
that's basically
Wow.
it in a nutshell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's awesome that you were able to persevere through all those things. Not being well, and there's so many things that both of you, what I mean, have to and anybody who's in the military, as we know, like a lot of people don't come back sane. You know what I mean? They don't come back, in their right mind, are able to function and move on with life and things like that. So the mere fact, what I mean, it's a blessing, you know what I mean, and really God's covering over you that you were able to like sustain yourself through everything that happened, and whatever that you guys had to go through, through those years, and also maybe to even be an encouragement for other people to look up to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially to maybe families who weren't as fortunate to like have their family come back, from certain things. So like, that's really a blessing, like, in itself. And I always was telling Anthony that I kept the article, of because I was just like so proud. I was like, wow, that is awesome. And that's really God for real, because it could have been another way. You know what I mean? It could
oh
have
yeah, yeah,
turned out another way. And that's really, the prayers of grandmas, the prayers of moms, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Just to really keep you guys and cover you guys over the years. So the fact that you've gone through decades and are still here to have another generation, kind of like live your legacy, and to live out what you're doing, Anthony, with your daughter, to raise your daughter, and Junior with your daughter, and family. That's really awesome, and a testament. And of course, we know that our family is very persistent. So you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
of
Not,
course,
not to cut
having.
not to
Hmm.
cut you off, but speaking of assistance, I remember
Yes.
when Anthony got his eye injured, and I went up there to help him, and he was so gun ho, like, "Yo, I want to go back." I'm like, "Yo, Anthony, calm down."
Wow. You want to keep
so
the other one.
so far, you're very lucky and you're blessed. Just listen to me and go through the channels and take it easy. Don't go through all that stuff. That's part of the brainwash process. You went, you did
Wow.
your time. You're fortunate. Let go. And fortunately,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah. I guess it's that. I guess because maybe, maybe you could correct me, but that processing, I guess, that you have to go through during that whole time, your mind becomes conditioned to, like, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going, like, no matter what, I gotta go, I can't stop, you know what I mean? I gotta cover this one, I gotta cover that one.
Yeah.
Maybe Anthony, you could kind of correct me.
Yeah and no.
No.
My main thing is, and Uncle Junior is right. When he came down, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back, and do some damage. But my main
Right.
reason for that is the camaraderie. There's a lot of people that
Mm, okay.
I knew that passed away already. There's people that was being injured as I was talking to them. So it was
Wow.
protecting the next man, man or woman
Right.
you serve with. And I do want to say one thing. I noticed
Hmm.
Zico's is online right now, and Zico is a veteran himself. If I'm not mistaken, he's a Marine. So
Awesome.
a family member.
Yeah.
Awesome. You said he's another family member?
Yep.
Oh, well, hi, Zico.
And
Listen, this family is
also,
so big and people I never met
yeah.
before.
Speak,
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
Speaking of camaraderie, that's what got me in the Gulf War. Actually, at the time, I had parotid cancer and I had surgery, so I wasn't supposed to go. But what happened? All my buddies was going, so I felt like, man, I need to go too. So I was disqualified for worldwide duty. So what I did, I went
Oh,
into my medical record, I put all that information out, and gave them the record and said, now review it. And then they
right,
review it, and I was over there. Now, once I got over there, I was like, oh well, game
wow,
over. I just got to play it safe until I get back.
right,
Fortunately,
right,
everything worked out well.
right. Wow. I mean, there's so many things involving Veterans Day, like even now as we're doing this pre-Veterans Day, for a lot, it's not going to be good memories. For some people,
Oh
it's going
yeah,
to be
yeah,
good
definitely.
memories.
And,
It's like a bittersweet kind of, because you still have those that you have to keep in mind that are still out there, that are still fighting, but then you have, those who have lost many. So it's just, it's really like, for me, who is like kind of from the outside looking in, and for you who, are coming from the inside, I kind of want to know, like, with the both of you, what do you think between the two of you that were in there? Because Anthony, was in one decade, Junior, you are from another decade. What do you think, like, some of the differences are, or were between, like,
and
when you were in there, Anthony, versus you, Junior?
when I was in there, it was kind of rough. You got to be a man. Everything is tough, and I guess I could call it sissified everybody. As a year go by, you can't yell at them, you can't do nothing. I'm like, what? But I got yelled at, but I didn't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew, hey, basic training is 6 weeks. Just put yourself in that mindset, and you get over it. Like for
Mm.
example, when you first went, let's screen everybody, check all the
I
belongings.
can't I can't see you fully.
Oh, they
Yeah.
check everybody. And this one guy, he had a golf club. So I said, oh, you ain't gonna make it. Cause you ain't got the mental approach. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
all I had was like 6 pairs of underwear, 6 t-shirts, just what they told me to bring. And the
Right.
TI, he was like looking at me like, oh, you a smart ass, huh? I said, nah, that's what you said to bring. So that's why I'm here. And it was
Mm.
weird because at the time, I think I was about 25. So I went in at an older age. I was
Mm-hmm.
actually older than the TI. So,
Oh,
I didn't want to hear nothing he got to say. I just listened
wow.
and try not to create conflict.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that was one of the, but isn't it still like that now?
Well, now they can't touch it. Okay, let me give you an example. When you're in the dorm and you're going up the stairs, you got to go up, like, let's say up is left and down is right. You got to be careful and stick to that uh, regimen. This one guy,
Mm.
don't forget it, it was Spanish. He was coming down on
Mhm.
the up, he was going up on the opposite side, and he bumped
Mhm.
into the TI, and the TI grabbed him and threw him against the wall. And he was
Oh
like, "What you
wow.
doing on this? You're supposed to be on that side, and they're not supposed to do that, you know." And
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
looked at him, I was like, "Man, at least he did that to you. Because if he did it to me, it would have been a
Wow.
fight." You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Used to get up
Oh,
like quickly 5:30 in the morning, and it's cold. It's cold in Texas. A lot of people don't realize how cold it is in Texas, and
Beautiful
so
weather, sir. I love
yeah,
it.
we were sitting on the concrete doing leg raise.
mm.
So
when you like think about those times, and like if it's cool for, not to say cool, but like when it comes to say, those now who want to join, who do you think like the motive is like still, like
well,
still that motive for it? Do you think it's more like, because for example, like you said, when you were first thinking about it, it was more of like, oh well, I gotta provide for my family, and things like that. you know um do you think that the kind of the motive has changed? Is it more of like, or maybe Anthony, you could answer this. Do you think it's more of like a not more of like a money kind of thing, or is it like a
nah,
genuine I want to fight for my
it's
country
not
thing
money.
anymore?
It's definitely not money. It's it's,
Hmm.
it's a desire. It's a
On the
desire to get
person.
ahead.
What do
It
you
dep-
say, Anthony?
I say it
It
depends on
depends.
the person.
Hmm.
I would say, how could I say this the nice way? We
Hmm.
got this on stream. So
Hmm.
the folks that in the urban areas, and I'm not gonna say all, but I would say look at it as a way
Right.
to kickstart career and get out of a bad. Not everybody in urban areas is in bad situations, but those who are look at it as opportunity to start to make a change, and that's where you develop the skills, your mindset, what you want to do. Because when you're in the military, when you join, it's like, all right, I'm joining the military. But once you get in the military and you see all the opportunities, the jobs, the different branches, like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't even know all of this. So then you can,
Right.
you know, um, I would say grow from there. Like example, my job in the military was infantry and scout. So based on what Uncle Junior said, he's right. I know there's a decade with how things was ran, but in infantry, even until right now, they'll still drop kick you because that's just infantry. So I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming with other
Wow.
jobs have been going differently. But when you're infantry, I guess you're supposed to be like a cop, fighter, or stuff
Hmm.
of that. Me being who
Hmm.
I am, I said, you know what? I'm not going to dictate what you try to put me in, Mr. Military guys, and I'm going to go IT. Even right now, I just got off a
Hmm.
meeting 3 hours ago, and they're like, wait a minute, you
Hmm.
was there? I didn't even know that. I'm like, I've been working with you guys for a year. I've been telling you this every
Right.
time because they can't
Right.
believe, you make that transition. It just depends on the person, and there is help out there. Um, it's like a lot of different things for military folks. You don't have to be injured as long as you're a veteran. Um, you could certainly get the support. It's just a lot of different links, and I'm gonna send you some links, some additional links after this meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and fortunately, to pick it back on what Anthony just said, the opportunities are there, but you have to actively, and I repeat, actively pursue it. It's like
Hmm.
pulling a tooth, unless you told. Okay, let me give you an example. I was watching CNN. This was years ago while I was in the military, by the way. And this guy, he was on CNN because he was complaining to the news people to help him out because he had trap mail and percent. I'm like, wait a minute, is it me? Where do you get trap mail? You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's just stuff like
Yes.
that, and it's frustrating, and that's why a lot of these veterans just give up and do suicide, or the wives don't understand. Sometimes you can't even sleep next to them because if they're having a nightmare, they can harm you.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So
mm. Yeah, yeah,
and
you
then
gotta
the
be
wife
careful.
might look at it as he being dangerous. It's not that he's dangerous. It's just circumstance, situation that he's been through that was totally negative.
Right,
Now, let me give
right.
you an
Do you think that
example.
there's enough
Of,
to like
yeah,
help people
exactly.
who have gone through that now?
Yeah, there is. Let me give you an example about mental health. I was at the VA, and this
Hmm.
young psychologist, smart guy, book smart,
Hmm.
he came in. let me say this first though. What he said was correct, but he shouldn't have said it. And you got to understand why. The guy
Okay.
came in, the veteran, he was looking all depressed and sad and suicidal. And the psychologist asked him, yo, what's wrong? He said, well, I was in Vietnam. I killed a lot of people. I cut a lot of people's
Just
throats.
make sure, what he said is PG. All right.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he said he killed a lot of people. But people need to know this, though. He killed a lot of, I won't say how he
Yes.
killed them. He killed a lot of people, put it that way. And the
Right.
psychiatrist, the young psychiatrist, he looked at him and said, you murderer. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? You don't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's
Right.
lack of
Yes.
experience. What he should
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
said is, "Hey, I understand the situation. If you didn't do that, you probably wouldn't be here today." You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
kind of,
Yes. Yes.
Well, you know,
kind of
when
justified in that sense.
Wow. Yeah, because there are so many. I guess what people don't realize too, that there are a lot of triggers,
Oh yeah, yeah,
um,
definitely.
especially
Firecrackers,
for,
Christmas time is
yeah.
one.
Hmm.
All the holidays.
That is true, because I was seeing, I don't remember if a movie I was watching or something like that, and it was about, I don't remember if it was based on, I think it was based on a true story, but pretty much the guy had came back home, thinking he was okay, but then, those little things that you were saying, like firecrackers going off and different stuff, like it kind of triggered something that he didn't even realize, maybe was still, going on. So do you feel like there is enough done for veterans?
Well, put it this way, I think they're trying, but if you think about it, if they do what they're
Mhm.
supposed to do, the system be
Yeah.
overwhelmed, to be honest. You know,
Mm.
they just have to have a good advocate. Like when Anthony was sick, I had experience, so I came and help him out, walk him through this, the system, let him know, hey, this is what you need to do. I know this is the way you feel, but let that go for now. You know what I'm saying? I kind of guide them.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's definitely important. What about you, Anthony? You think, what's your like take on it, or your view on it?
hmm, I would say, and this is just the military in general.
Right. Right.
Military they have something for everyone. The problem is not publicized enough for everyone to know. Like example, like I mentioned earlier about
Mhm.
the percent and get property taxes, and you don't have to go to the DMV and register your car again only one time. Only reason I knew, because I have a
Right.
friend who was military who I used to work with. She was telling me these things, and then of course I'm not going to believe it, for face value. So I'm going to go do some research. Come to find out, she was right, and you know
Mhm.
what? I'm a trying person. Like if I hear something is done, and I see it's being done, I'm gonna give it a shot myself, whether I fail or not. It's just giving it a shot because I did have a friend
Right.
when I was at Walter Reed. He was at Walter Reed, but he got injured. I guess at training, a little bit different, but
Mm.
an injury.
Mhm.
This guy had the nerve to say, you know what? They owe me everything. I'm not going to put in the work. Versus me, they have things like tag.
Mm.
That's basically like for
Right.
that's a program to help veterans get transition into civilian world. So they'll take your MOS, they'll take the military wording, and
Mhm.
they'll flip flop it to transition smoothly. So while I was attending those classes, he was drinking and on a base relaxing. And then when it was time for him to go, he said this line, "Oh, I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna the military." At the time, Bush wasn't off. When you sign the line, that's one thing I can't sue the government. That's what they have there. So he ended up being homeless
Mm.
for about what
Right.
2, 3 until he met someone, and then that worked out in that particular case. So I'm not gonna say every veteran have is going to go through that same line. But if that is from what I've saw for some of them, I would say it's like Uncle Junior just said, you got to stay on top of it. You got to be persistent. You just can't sit there and think they're going to knock on your door.
Mhm.
Hey, I heard you like $100 bills. We're here to give you some. Because if that's the case, they better come knock on my door too. And I'm sure Uncle Junior door as well. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's because like I remember when when I was in high school, and it was recruiting and stuff was big, all the time. They were there, and of course I always had my like kind of hiccups on it. because then too, it was like close to that, the whole like Iraq thing and all that stuff going on. So I'm like, well, I'm a woman, they probably gonna draft me too. So, you know, so there was just so many things going on, but, you know, even like right now, I think like like you were saying, I think it is getting a little better in terms of like maybe the resources and things that they have for veterans. But the unfortunate thing is that a lot of it is not getting out, to them. A lot of people even now, or like, like we were talking about before, Gold Star spouses who's lost their, their husband, or what, their husbands, or family members in general who have lost their loved ones. It's like the resources are kind of hidden, like the really important, like resources. So I think like that's something too that could be done better. So hopefully now that we are kind of like on a new slate in presidency, hopefully
Oh
some of
yeah.
those things could
I, I felt sorry for
could.
those people that were in the military. 'Cause I wouldn't want a signature on my certificate. It
Oh my
just
goodness. Yeah, I don't know, it's just so strange. So many stipulations. You have so many things going on at the same time. You have the the race war going on. Then you have the war, war going on like everywhere. You know what I mean? And some places it's not even like black on white war. It's war within your own, you know what I mean,
yeah.
race.
Uh,
So you have military war and so many things
yeah.
going on that overshadows the real importance of
Yeah.
what it was
It's
meant
sad
for.
because it's opportunity. What a lot of people don't understand, as a black male and female, for example, the system is structured to suppress you.
Mm,
People gonna say, "Ah, nah, person, that's a racist statement." I'm telling you, when I was in the military, I put in for PA school, went to
mm,
Korea, let them know where I was. I couldn't make it back in time, but because I was in
mm.
Texas, and it was naivety on my part, because the community usually reflect the racism of where the base is. So when I
Oh,
got back to the base, I went to my room. There was a padlock on it. They were like, I'm like, what's going on? They said, oh, you AWOL. We pull your OTS package. We're going to take you to court. I'm
wow.
like, what? So Janice was in Korea at the time. So I called her and she said, oh, that's a setup. So she called the area defense counsel and he wrote a letter and said, here it is. Just hold on to this. When they take you to court, show them this. Now, this is what
Mm,
happened. For about a month, they were talking back and forth. Oh, we don't know if we're going to send it to court or whatever. But they didn't even pay me. She had to send me money so I could eat. So I was working. They didn't pay me.
wow.
So what it is, they're trying to press you for you to get in trouble. So
Mm,
anyway, I'll never forget it. It was a reserve judge, and it was a Thursday. And they came and said to me, I was working in the emergency room at the time at Laughlin Air Force Base, Texas. And they said to me, hey, we're going to court martial you tomorrow. I'm like, what? Cause you got to have your blues, you got to have everything ready and stuff. So I was like, you know what? Fortunately, they let me off work. So I went to a tailor, paid them extra, got everything ready, went to the court. And it's sad because it reminded me of these old time movies. You always try to
mm,
say to yourself, why they do that? You know they're gonna find you guilty. You know what I'm saying? But it's
right.
something you have to go through. So anyway,
Mm,
I'm sitting there and they're lying back and forth, the commander, all of them. So I'm like, whatever. So at the end of the proceeding, the judge said to me, do you have anything to say on your behalf? I said, not really. However, I have a document to present to you. So I gave him the documents. And what the documents say, hey, this Area Defense Council in Korea contact my commander, certified letter. That means she received it, and to let her know what was going on. Guess what they did? They got a conference, all of them, and put inadmissible. Even
wow.
even, even though I was standing, for the judgment, in my mind, I collapsed on the floor. I was like, damn, I don't believe this. This is unreal. And and
Hmm.
there's a lot of people in the military that knew what was going on and knew it was wrong, but they didn't want to say nothing because they don't want to endanger their careers.
Even now, that's an
Yeah,
ongoing. That's a
yeah. And
decade thing, ongoing.
I remember the DC had sent people down to investigate. 'Cause apparently, this was going on for a long time, but nobody was complaining. So the send the OSI that came down. They had me, saying, you know, videotape and recording, and asked me why I did it. I said, well, sir, if you look at it, from my view, and I'm just saying this is my view, I don't think I did anything wrong. And secondly, they ruined my career, so I don't have nothing to lose. So
Wow.
it's crazy. And then, but
Wow.
check this out. Years later, when I was at Langley, this is what persistent takes. I said, you know what? I'm still going to become a nurse practitioner. So I
Right.
put in, I told him at Langley, because I said, you're a good tech. Why don't you put in for it? So I said, well, I can't because they got me for AWOL. And once you get for AWOL, your career is ruined. So the
Wow.
lady, she knew me. She said, okay, Percy, I'm going to look it up. Because that's her job, to research that stuff. They couldn't find none of my record. None.
Wow.
But you know what's funny? I had it at my house, but I didn't want to take it to her.
Hmm.
I just left it alone. So I said, "Oh, okay." So they cleared the coast. But
Right.
that's why once I got out, I want to pursue that, and I got it anyway. But as you can
Hmm.
see, there were three obstacles to me becoming a nurse practitioner. Two while I was in the Air Force, and they both failed due to racism. And once
Wow.
I got out, then I was able to pursue what I wanted to pursue.
Right. I
So
mean, and that's awesome, you know what I mean? And like I said, going back to persistence and, getting over all the hurdles that you went through during those times, it really makes a difference, and it's really important, when we talk about, being persistent and pushing through those times. Anthony, I see you back on with us. Yes. Um, yeah, so Anthony, what are some of the things that you would say excite you, about, continuing to work with veterans, continuing to do what you do, coming out of it.
Give everybody the opportunity. Know that there's different ways to get things done. Wow, a lot of camaraderie. I just love it. In all
Yeah,
outfits of everywhere I touch, from my Lockheed Martin days, from Northrop Grumman,
right.
the contract, government, everywhere is just military folks there. And what I, what
Right.
I what I do like is a lot of them will assist one another for uh you know
Hmm.
to it's about what you could do to get a promotion. One big thing was injured in Iraq, and after I got the military, when I was a Lockheed, the big push for me to move to Northrop Grumman and to do computer, they had some program where if veterans as a whole want to switch fields and get into the right
Hmm.
field you want to do, basically like what Uncle Junior said earlier, get your certification and stuff.
Hmm.
They were assisting with that. So I remember they had me in this magazine, and I got it here actually, which is over there. I'll bring it in a sec. I guess when Uncle Junior is talking, I'll go bring it and show it real quick.
Hmm.
Basically says veterans in IT, for IT
Mm.
careers, and I thought that was amazing how they just had that segue into it to start bringing the veterans in. And like that was amazing. But it's like little programs like that occurs that's not out there for everyone else to know, because you need that. How can I say this? Like you need like that olive branch, like that person say, "Hey, this is what's happening," but you got to have that discussion, and people are going to have to want to find out to know about these things as well. Yeah,
Right.
I think it was pretty decent and fair, I must say. But I will say
Hmm.
this though, and I will be completely honest and forthcoming about this here. For the military, they do, and I think it's
Hmm.
unfair, and that's for me even being an injured soldier myself. They give
Hmm.
more attention to injured soldiers than retired veterans, because I guess they
Mm.
feel that, oh, you almost die, you get certain criterias, but also I think it's almost unfair, because I look at it as we both went over there because one of us got injured. I think it should be opened up for everyone, but it's not like that. So I know
Right.
they on that, but that's one thing I do want to say, because I've seen that for myself. I'm like, oh man, you got this? Oh no, you got to have the Purple Heart and the CIB. You got to have all these medals to get these things. It's
Right.
like, really? You got to achieve that to get it? So looking
Right.
at it out, because I'm in there with medals, I'm like, That's not fair because he was 10 feet because he didn't get hit and I did. He don't get the same
Wow.
thing. That's a
Right.
big thing that's not even mentioned at all. So that's,
Right.
I guess, an eye opener there. A
Yeah,
spoiler
yeah.
alert.
That
So
it makes a lot of sense. It definitely does because well, everyone's you're risking your life just the same as the other person, you know what I mean? So that definitely makes a lot of sense. And for you, Junior, what's some of the good things, that you've taken out of it
Well,
through your years of
same
experience and
similar thing, but like, okay, let's say I go different places in the States or overseas and go to a base and I be walking thinking I don't know anybody. Somebody like, yo, Junior, yo, Purse, what's going on? I'm like, what? What you doing over here? You know what I'm saying? So it just that sense of belonging. And
okay,
unfortunately, that kind of tapered away because I've been out for like 20 years. So most of the people
yeah,
that I knew kind of, either
yeah,
passed away or older and don't really know me anymore. But
right,
that was great. I remember once I went to Guam when I was in the BX, that's like a store in the military where, different merchandise. And I'm walking around and this kid, he was like, yo, Purse, I remember you because my first base was Loring, Maine. And there was nothing to do up there because it's cold all the time. So I used to just play basketball. And this guy, he was a good
when
basketball
all
player
else
too.
fails, basketball.
Yeah, so
in Maine,
that's what
man,
kept that's what kept me going. And to this day,
Right.
I still go out there and try to play. I can't run like I used to. And playing with these young kids, all they want is the ball anyways. If you pass it to them, they're happy. And I'm just out there, get a little sweat. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's the way it is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just want to thank you, both of you, for just coming on, again today. And I was saying that and of course we have, other family members. But Junior, you started in what branch again, you said?
Air Force. I
In
did
the
my
Air
my whole
Force.
time in the Air Force. Yeah,
In
'cause
the Air
this,
Force.
this is what my decision to do the Air Force. I said, well, I got to join the military. I said, well, the Marines. I said, nah, that's suicidal. I ain't going in there. I said, the Navy. I said, I can't be living at sea for so long. And I said, the Army. I said, nah, I ain't living in the woods. Then I said, the Air Force. That's the hotel crew. So that's how I made my decision.
That's
A
funny.
lot of people call us wimp and all of that, but I'm like, I don't care.
we still do. I know I do for sure, but I know Zico do.
But
But it's a smart
wow, that's
move.
funny.
If I had to do it again, I tell people if you want to further your career, and like I said, most of the people that I work with, especially in the Pentagon and when I was working the House of Representatives down there on Capitol Hill, most of the military that I've seen down there, primarily Air Force. So it's Air Force, Navy, and then it's a toss up between Army and Navy. But it's usually that Air Force, then Navy, then you got
Hmm.
a few stragglers, which is the Army Navy. And I would mention the
Hmm.
Coast Guard. I never worked with anybody at the Coast Guard where I was at. So no, nothing disrespectful to them. Just
Hmm. No, that's awesome. But like I said, I'm so glad that you guys were able to just come out of it and share your expertise. And just like, keep it moving because not everybody really thinks, you know what I mean? A lot of people kind of move on impulse. Now
Exactly.
there are people who have a reason for it being like, some are like, well, best I got to take care of my family. The best choice is, to kind of do this. Let me think it out. Others want to serve their country, but you find like even now a lot of people just kind of like move off impulse because they're kind of thinking of, well, they might have seen other people or family members and they see the benefits and things like that, but then they don't think about the fact or what they will have to go through, now. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Because
Before
that's
you
why
get
people ask.
the
Yeah,
benefits.
people ask Elizabeth why she didn't join the military. She said, Dad, I remember when I was in, and you get up like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, where you going? She said, they called me. I got to go. She was like, nah, I can't live this life.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I even thought about it because Uncle Pete, he was in the Navy. He's
Oh, I
working in
didn't
the
know
Air
that.
Force. Yeah, he graduated from the Navy. He's working in the Air Force now. and things like that. So, but a lot of times, he wanted me to trying to get me to the Navy, you know. Back then, maybe if it was like some years later, I might have probably would have thought about it, but I was like, no, I'm not conditioned for that. I'm not
Right.
conditioned for that life.
Yeah, at
Yeah, I'm
least you're
not.
realistic. So once you get
I,
in there, you probably end up in trouble. Yeah.
listen. I don't know, man. I don't know. I was like, I'm probably too soft-hearted for that. I was like, I thought about so many things. I'm like, I find my
Yeah.
other way. And so down the school, the high school hallways, I skipped them. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? I didn't even look in the recruiter's direction, went around it, you know. But like I said, and even during that time, even like it was a just a difficult time. I feel like even that time, like, in times of like the whole, like, Bin Laden and Iraq and all them times and stuff like that. Like I feel like that was a time where it's like, if you're not sure that you want to sacrifice your life to do it, forget about the benefits. We just talking about one life, you know what I mean, to live.
Exactly.
If you're not sure that you want to serve your country like genuinely, this is not something that you should be going into. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's how it should have been taken. But for a lot of people, it was more like benefits presented forward, but then sacrifice presented after, until you sign the paper, then you see the reality. And if you
Exactly.
live, you get the benefits. Right? Which nobody mentioned at the table. You know what I mean?
It's
So
funny you say that because a lot of guys, a lot of friends of mine, when I was in New York and Brooklyn, that I went in the military, the Army, Marines. I forgot which one, but anyway, they like leave a month. Then uh, let's say about a month, you see them back in the street. I'm like, what happened? They're like, ah, man,
mhm.
have some. I just didn't like it. I'm like, huh? You can do that, man. I got in there. The
Times
first
have
night, I was
changed.
like, oh, I see what happened. They couldn't hang.
Hmm.
Wrong mindset.
Yeah, you have to. I believe that you have to have a strong mindset. I believe, like, of course, like every branch is different. The Navy, the requirements for the Navy and things like that are not going to be the same. You know what I mean? So, um I don't knock any of it. Like I said, it also depends on where you're at in life. You know what I mean? Like, if I
Mhm.
was in a different path in life, like now or maybe a few years back, I'd have been like, oh cool, you know what, the Navy, look like something I want to, but then at a certain time you're kind of like, depend on the mindset you're in, you're like, you're not really, especially like you, Anthony, you were saying that, for you personally, that coming out of high school, it was more of kind of like an opportunity, for you and things like of that nature. You know what I mean? So coming out of high school, you have all kind of different, things going on, at the same time, but you took it for, for what it was, in a sense, you know what I mean? And not everybody was able to kind of go in with that mindset, like, especially like coming out of high school, you're thinking about all the things you haven't done. You know what I mean? All
Right,
the parties you haven't gone to, all the,
right,
you know what I mean, things that you haven't done. So that in itself, is just a good take on, like your mindset, or your willingness to kind of see change. And I think that's how it should be. It should be more of like a willingness to see change, because then the sacrifice comes with the change. You know what I mean? Because you want to see change, that you have to sacrifice, in a sense. And that's like with any of, the leaders we've had, Martin Luther King, different people, you know what I mean, that went through what they had to go through in life, because they knew that in order to make a change, you had to make some type of sacrifice. You know what I mean? So, it wasn't going to be a walk in the park. But like I said, God is definitely great in just covering you and protecting you, allowing you to see the times that are now, so that you could make your own change and contribution to, veterans, and to, the military segment and things like that. So, but thank you, family. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Cuz Anthony Jr., for coming on and just joining me. I'm going to actually, let me see if I paste it, will all of them paste
yeah,
here?
right. And
Okay,
while you do that,
yeah.
I'm gonna get this magazine. Give me 1 second.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Anthony, I was showing Junior, I was showing the article, Anthony's that I kept.
Oh, okay.
kept over the years. For those of you who are maybe just coming on, or so, well, Anthony was also wounded, um, and unfortunately, a few of his friends didn't make it, but he made it out and received the Purple Heart, for it, in the midst of those things, as well as Junior. So it's just awesome, to just celebrate you guys, especially being that you're my family. It's awesome to celebrate family today, you know. And just to do that. And but Junior, how is it, how being a nurse practitioner, the skills that you learned before, would you say like a lot of it's helped you,
Oh yeah,
like as a
definitely.
nurse practitioner now?
Yes, because what happened, you kind of exposed to everything from before, but you kind of
uh
exposed it from a nurse standpoint. You
mm-hmm.
you know the orders, but you're not authorized to give it. So once you take
Got
that
it.
next step, not only do you execute the orders, you can make the orders and create the orders.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I know Janice is a nurse practitioner too now.
Yes, yes. She
um
works in oncology.
Anthony. Oh, okay, cool. Anthony, yes, you this article is, you're looking blurry now. mm, I can't even see it clearly.
It's probably too
You
far
can't.
away from the camera.
I think it's because his the Wi-Fi is
Oh, okay.
probably kind of like acting up, so it's a little blurry. But I see you in the article, but a blurry version
Yeah,
of
it
you.
is.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that, and what is that called again? That's
Let me see
that's
when it
where
makes changes. You know?
I
Yeah,
could see
shift a
you
little to the
still.
left.
Shift to the left. It's still a little.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
still a little blurry. It goes in and out. Yeah. I could see the star, the
Wow.
color, and everything. It's just not clear. But it says it's university. Di-
Diversity careers.
oh, diversity careers. Okay,
Right.
diversity careers. I'm gonna type that in here.
Yeah. Just
Diversity.
just screenshot it and send it to us in a
Yep.
text.
I'm about.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
then I could Okay, I see you. You're at the end.
Yep, I am.
Okay, cool. Oh, now it's clear. I see it. Cool. Nice. That's
So
awesome.
it tells a little bit about the background, where people went and what they're trying to achieve, and
Right.
how this diversity careers will help you out here. So this is, yeah, diversity careers in engineering and information technology.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm gonna type it in here. Diversity careers. Put
Yeah.
diversity
One,
careers in there.
one last thing to say too for people that's out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going in, make sure you're in a field where once you come out, it's it's a viable field on the outside. So
That makes a lot of sense.
you don't want to do something that's just restricted to the military.
That
Right.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Always caught me up with infantry. Oh, you could be a police officer. I said, me? Nah, you're good. I'm already good enough for that in Iraq. I'm not coming back over to do no police officers over here.
Right.
So,
That is awesome. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Let me see if
yep, I see it. Nice.
right. Wait, let me take that. All right. Cool. Let me just make sure that it's okay, that's here. So yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, there's like 4 different links. So any other links that you send me, Anthony, I will definitely share it with share it with everyone. And just keep them posted. There are just awesome links in here for veterans, for people who take care of veterans,
Yeah.
veteran caregivers, because that's stress, a lot of stress on itself, because some veterans, they're going through mental issues, health issues. So you really have to be, I think, really trained really, really well, and have patience to, work with veterans. Also, to have the heart to work with veterans. So that's awesome. I saw that. I was taking a look at all the links last night, and I also sent it to a friend of mine who's a Gold Star spouse. So if any of you, know people, you have your own family members or friends, just make sure that you check out each of these links that are in the chat box and that you share it and spread it. And I'll continue to share it, as the time goes on too. So I'm just going to share this one more time. But we're gonna keep it going. The usually well to let you guys know who don't know, Xcentric Accessories is a jewelry and accessories company for men, women, and children. But we're doing a live craft and chat session. My name Renee. We're doing a live craft and chat session with my cousins, who are a part of the military, who are veterans, who are, working hard to make sure that they create a change, through their experiences in the military, air forces, and everything that comes along. So thank you everyone who's been watching so far and commenting in the chat. Zico and everybody else who's been watching. I think Zico was our main fan today. In the chat box. So, yeah, if you'll see it, if you go on Facebook, you'll see the comments, all the comments on there, and YouTube. But those of you who are watching, who's been following the live craft and chat sessions, we're gonna have Chef Ricardo cooking on for the next live. Yes, definitely. As having a Jamaican background, our family, you gotta have, like I was telling Anthony, like to 20 jobs. Right. Actually, who was I telling that to? No, I was saying that to Christopher. I was saying that to him. I say, listen, I think like, every Caribbean family or whatever, you know what I mean? Our family is Jamaican. I'm like, I don't think you hear not one person that don't got like 10 jobs at the same time. When you talk to everybody, you talk to the elders, you don't hear nobody who has like one job for their whole entire. It's always something, but as a result, it's really made everybody who they are, today, and just with like great work ethic, you know what I mean? So it's just really awesome to just celebrate you guys and your work ethic, sacrifices, and what you're doing. And I just want to encourage you to just, like to just keep going, to keep the faith, and to know that, like you're making a difference, to like everybody who's surrounding you. You're making a difference to your family, and people are watching at the end of the day and praying for you. And I love you guys. So
love you too. Thank you.
I'm just gonna share this slideshow real quick before we end. Let's do this. Yay! Salute to you guys. We're gonna have to make a movie. We definitely gonna have to make a movie. So see you later, guys. Love you guys.
Take care. Thanks for everything.
All the best. No problem. Bye.
Bye.